In this video, we're going to look at a specific type of angle or specific types of angles, really. So we're going to talk about coterminal angles. And so you can read the definition, but it says two angles in standard position with the same initial side and same terminal side. Those are coterminal. Okay, so if we get a little diagram just to represent the situation here. Okay, so I'm going to say here is the initial side. I'm going to do that in green, and then the terminal side I'm going to put in quadrant 2 just for fun. Okay, so normally we would talk about an angle right here, theta 1, as going from initial to terminal, right? But really, like, as long as we maintain the same initial side and same terminal side, we could, go clockwise instead of counterclockwise, and this would be theta 2. Theta, like, these are different angle measures, right? So just to be clear, theta 1 is not equal to theta 2, but they start and end at the same point, okay? And we could even go even more crazy and say, okay, well, let's wrap around twice and then hit the angle, okay? Again, if you look at where I began with this black line and where I ended, right? Whatever this angle theta 3 is, it would start and end at the same point or places as theta 1, so they would be coterminal. They start and end at the same place, okay? So then just a quick question, are 45 and 315 coterminal? Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of draw a little sketch. Okay, so here's so like here would be the initial side, and then 45, let's see, that's somewhere, okay, so it'd be somewhere in here, right? So that's 45 degrees. And then 315, okay, 360 is a complete circle. This was 270 degrees. So this is 360. So if I, treat this as my initial side, then terminal side would be somewhere there. So are they coterminal? I'm going to say no. Okay, if they are not provided another angle that is coterminal. Oh, okay. Well, another one that would be coterminal would be, let's see, if I do 45 and I go instead of clockwise, right? 45 is measured counterclockwise, so let's go clockwise. Okay, so if I go clockwise, how do I figure out what that is? Okay, and here's how I figure it out. Okay, so I know 360 would be a complete circle. Okay, 360 would be a complete circle. 45 is what I already have, and then I don't know what this other angle is. Okay, and then I solve it, right? And I get 315 degrees is equal x. But I just said that those are not coterminal angles. Remember, direction is important, right? This one went clockwise. So when I talk about clockwise angles, that's a negative angle, okay? So it's just 315 is sort of like, I'm going to say the absolute value of x, right? And then so you have to introduce the sign that makes sense with the direction, okay? So that's one way that you can find a coterminal angle, okay? And so here, you can find a coterminal for, let's see, so it says in the same type. So if it's in radians, leave it in radians. If it's in degrees, leave it in degrees, okay? So I'm gonna kind of do two of these. I'm gonna do 300 and then 10 pi, and then you get to do the rest, okay? So for 300, negative 300 rather, okay? So negative 300 would be, okay, so here's 270 and a little bit more. So this would be negative 300 degrees. Okay, so then if I want to find a coterminal, okay, instead of going, again, this went clockwise to find the other one, I can always go counterclockwise, okay? And so this would be 300. So again, kind of taking the absolute value of each of these, so I should actually do absolute value bars here too. So it'd be, 300 negative in absolute values plus, I don't know what this is, absolute value of x is equal to 360. Well, solving this, I get absolute value of x is equal to 60 degrees. And I went counterclockwise here. So I'm going to say the answer is 60 degrees. Okay? let's see, 10 pi. Okay, I have no idea. So, well, I know this is 0, this is pi, and this is pi over 2, this is 3 pi over 2, and then this would be 2 pi. Well, 10 pi seems like I hit 2 pi 5 times, and you would be correct. So you go once around, 2, 3, 4, 5 times around, okay? And, okay, so I need to find something that's coterminal. Well, it has to start and end, it has to start and end at the same place. Well, doesn't 0 or 2 pi or 4 pi or 6 pi or 8 pi, any of these don't they end at the same place? Yeah, yeah. And you can even go negative. You can go negative 2 pi, negative 4 pi. Any one of these is coterminal with 10 pi, okay? So idea, try and figure out where it ends and find another place or another angle that does the same thing. So go ahead and pause the video, find coterminal angles for these last two. And here you go. Here are the answers that I have, and I did a couple of them just in case you approach things a little differently. So if you went the negative route of going clockwise for the first one, it'd be negative 225. If you kind of thought, like, okay, just add 360, go around, like make a circle and come back around, it'd be 495. In a similar fashion, for the 7 pi over 6 example, if you went clockwise, that'd be negative 5 pi over 6. If you kind of went around once and came back, so you'd add 2 pi to 7 pi over 6, and fractions are fun, I love them, but you'd add 2 pi, so 12 pi over 6, and you'd get 19 pi over 6 for that, okay? So coterminal angles, big takeaway, they start and they end at the same place, and so a little bit of graphical inspection or just adding multiples of, pi or 360 or 2 pi or 360, depending on which unit you're in, will always work.